Hello Internet, I'm Kristen and today you're going to be watching me fangirl about a book. So, if you read the description, you have probably seen that I am going to be reviewing For, a Divergent collection by Veroica Roth. Alright, also I have never done one of these before, so I apologize in advance if it's really bad. I don't mean it to be. This is a collection of 4 short stories and 3 exclusive scenes about For, aka Tobias from the Divergent series, and what he goes through before he transfers to Dauntless and after he transfers to Dauntless, and it slightly overlaps with the beginning of Divergent. To start, we all need to take a moment to admire how beautiful this book looks without a cover on it. Like, do you see that? Do you see how pretty it is? Look at the pretty letters on the spine. So, for those of you who don't know, the Divergent series takes place in dystopian Chicago, and it is about a kind of corrupt form of government where society has been split into 5 different factions or way of thinking. So there's Abnegation, who are the selfless, Candor the honest, Dauntless the brave, Amity the peaceful, and Erudite the intelligent. So now, after that brief backstory, we start with the transfer. Woo! This story starts with For living in Abnegation, and he has just gone through his aptitude test, which tells you which faction you are supposed to be living in after you turn 16, because when you turn 16, you get to choose which faction you live in, and you can either stay in the same faction that you're in already, or you can move to a different faction, which is what For chooses to do. It goes all the way up to where he has now gone through his fear landscape, and he is in Dauntless, and he knows that he only has 4 fears, and his name is For, and the only person who knows his real name is Eric, and that kind of becomes an issue because For and Eric don't really like each other, and they both have things that they're hanging over each other's heads. The second short story in this collection is called The Initiate. It's all about For in Dauntless for the first time, and everything that he has to do and overcome, and how him and Eric don't get along. He starts to find out all of the things that Max and Janine are trying to do. Max is a leader of Dauntless and Janine is a leader of Erudite, and they are trying to overthrow the Abnegation government because these people, known as Divergent, which means they have multiple ways of thinking, are starting to become very common, and they are a threat to the system of government that is currently in place because the Divergent people don't like to have to be put in a faction. People who aren't Divergent have an aptitude for a specific faction, but the Divergent people have aptitudes for multiple factions, which makes it difficult for them, and they just want everyone to live happily ever after, together, as one. And then, at the end of The Initiate, you find out that Tobias was the first ranking initiate in his class, and he is offered a job to become one of the leaders of Dauntless. The third short story in this book is called The Sun, and this one gets really intense and really emotional because it's where Tobias finds out that his mom, who he thought was dead for like the majority of his life, is actually alive and living in a factionless community, and she is the leader of these factionless people, and he doesn't really know how to react because she now wants him to come join her and be factionless and try to create a new system of government without factions, but all Tobias has known his whole entire life are these factions, and he doesn't really know how to think about them being gone. The last section is called The Traitor. Now, for those of you who don't know, For has a tattoo on his back of all of the different factions on top of each other, which kind of represents unity of all the factions, but the way that the people within the faction see it is that each individual faction should be loyal to their own factions and not really care about what the other factions are doing quite as much. And then, to make things even worse, after he finds out about the attack plans, he goes back to Abnegation to tell his father about what's going to happen. Faction before blood, that's like #1 rule. Stupid. Okay, also in the trailer, we get to learn about Triss from For's point of view, and oh my god, I ship Fortress so hard, and I just, hearing what he thought about her, it's so beautiful. It was really cute, and I freaking loved the scene where they were in the chasm, and also Forest Fear landscape when him and Triss were in there together, and she said something like, "We got through it," and For, I can't remember if he says it or if he thinks it, but either way it's really cute, and he's just like, "You got me through it," and I can't even. And then at the end there are 3 exclusive scenes, and one's called First Jumper Triss, and it's about how the first time he sees her, and it's when the love started happening, because Fortress will be forever. And the second one's called Careful Triss, and this one is about the first time that they're in the cafeteria together, and at the end he says, "Careful Triss." He's kind of saying, be careful what you say to me, be careful what you say to everyone, because it can get you killed, because people are stupid and kill people for no reason, and I don't understand. I don't get it. And then the last one is Looking Good Triss, and it's when he's drunk by the chasm and she walks by, and then he tells her that she looks good, and the amount that I ship them is, if you haven't, so. And now, wrap up of what I thought of the whole entire book. Okay, it was really, really good. I was a little hesitant at first because I personally didn't really like Tobias's point of view in Allegiant, and I know that some people really loved it and some people really hated it. Even after that, with the mixed reviews about his point of view, she still gave us this, and it was wonderful. And if you haven't read it yet, you need to read it because it's really good, but you should read the Divergent series first because that's really good too, and then you should just come fangirl with me. I just really like books, okay? I just really like them. I don't know why, but I do. So stop judging me. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed that. I hope that I didn't do completely awful and that kind of made some sort of sense, and that maybe you'll go pick up this book now because you should, because it's wonderful. And if you really liked it, be sure to thumbs it up and maybe subscribe to our channel. It would really mean a lot to all of us here at OFL, and we love you guys. Bye! And I can't stop playing with this book, and I don't know why. And if you hadn't right there, do you see it? Do you see?